Hey y'all, I just wanted to do a quick video on rumination, and yes, I mean quick. I bet y'all are like, nope, it's gonna be 20 minutes. It is not going to be. My name is Christy Hodges, author of Pure OCD, The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, doing peer support and referral consultations worldwide to help support you and where you're at in your journey with OCD, but also to help you find therapists who can help. NoCD is an app, and they also provide a lot of services inside of that app, including telehealth and doing ERP. So go check them out at treatmyocd.com. I just wanted to quickly come on. I only have like 10 minutes before my group, so I thought I have to do this in 10 minutes. So I wanted to talk about rumination. This is a little off the cuff. I didn't even prepare anything, but I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with rumination, because I think that sometimes people get super confused about why they're ruminating and they can't stop it before it happens. So I just want to tell you that what I'm going to say today is based on my own experience. So if you disagree, it's totally fine. You don't have to blast me in the comments or you don't have to send me an email being all like, you're wrong. And this isn't evidence-based. It's totally fine. I just want to talk to you about what works for me. Rumination. What is rumination? We hear about this all the time. It is a huge mental compulsion for OCD. I define rumination as trying to solve an unsolvable question. I mean, y'all, which is the crux of living with OCD, right? There is no solution to a fake problem, a non-threat. So we are continuously trying to find this answer to a question that doesn't really exist because there is no threat. So rumination is it is the mechanism that's going on in your brain that kind of keeps you in that loop. And I know that y'all know what I'm talking about. It's almost a reel that goes on. It's automatic. For many of us, we have been ruminating for so long in our lives. It almost feels unfamiliar to not ruminate. I have said before, and it may not make sense, but I'm going to try to explain it a little bit, that rumination is almost a safety blanket for me. I don't enjoy ruminating. Let me just preface with that. Ruminating can be really painful. It can be time consuming, and it can just cause a lot of drama in your head. But I also don't know what to do without rumination. So rumination is something, it's a go-to for me when I do feel destabilized, when I feel uncertain, when I feel dysfunctional. Rumination is something that can pull me back into, okay, this is familiar. This is something that I feel like I'm trying to solve, so it gives me a little bit more of a sense of control. Hear me out when I'm not saying, go ruminate. I'm not saying that, but I'm just telling you what my experience with it is. I've had to change my relationship with rumination in the last few years when I decided to change how I viewed myself based on rumination. I was always taught rumination is bad, and if you ruminate, you're doing compulsions, and that means you're probably not in recovery. Like such bullshit, right? That's not the case. Rumination is a natural thing that happens to so many people. I don't think everybody ruminates, but for those of us with anxiety, it really is just this natural process that happens automatically. Okay, and if I'm not going to dive into the mechanism of the brain about how the amygdala, and all that shit, but it is this natural function that happens in response to the amygdala. Here are the points that I want to make. Number one, people will say, and your therapist might say, and this is just my lived experience, so don't be hating on me. And don't go tell your therapist either that this girl Christy Hodges out there saying all the shit about you. Because I'm not, maybe I am. But people might say, if you choose to ruminate, or if you're ruminating, then you're not in recovery, or you're going backwards, or you're canceling out. I mean, come on. Like, rumination is such an automatic process. I don't know anyone on this planet that can be like, I am not going to ruminate for 1 second today. Rumination is acknowledgeable when you acknowledge that you're ruminating. Okay, so write that down. You can't stop rumination until you know that you're ruminating already, unless you're doing exposure response prevention, right? So if you're doing ERP, then you can create a trigger and wait for the rumination and stop it before it happens. Or just go, there it is. I'm going to recognize it. I'm going to choose, as Michael Greenberg says, to drop the pen or drop the basketball. Right? And so please go to drmichaeljgreenberg.com to read all of his articles on rumination. They're fabulous. So, but it has to be an active choice. And another thing that Greenberg says too is that agency is such a huge part of recovery, and especially when it comes to rumination. So the agency to choose whether or not I'm going to stop it or not. Here is the second thing I want you to know. It's along the same lines. And when people say that you ruminate, you're not in recovery, or that you're undoing shit. I have been in recovery for 20 something years. Okay. It has been ups and downs. I'm going to tell you something. I ruminate every damn day about something. I mean, I get in the car and I'm in a fight with my brain immediately with someone I didn't even know 20 years ago that pissed me off, that I want to win the fight right now. Do I enjoy that? Yeah, hell yeah, I do. I like going back and winning fights in my head, even if they're not even relevant anymore. So is that doing me a detriment because I'm ruminating? No. If it is doing a detriment, I can stop it. I can recognize that it's happening, and I think to myself, no, I need to focus on, I'm going to work or I'm going to do a speech or something, and so I need to focus more on that. So let's push aside my argument with Aunt Bertha from 1992 that I'm trying to win now, and let me think about something different. There's my agency, okay? I'm choosing to stop the rumination. Otherwise, it didn't matter. As long as I'm being safe and I'm driving and I'm still like battling Aunt Bertha and I'm winning, it doesn't matter. Right? Does that mean I'm not in recovery from OCD? Absolutely not. It is a choice that I am making. And recovery is all about choice, which coincides immediately with agency. Agency is having the ability to choose, right? I'm a being that can choose X, Y, and Z. I know that's a UK thing, but I have a lot of UK friends. But it's your ability to choose that. And so I have the agency to be able to do that. So lastly, I just want to say, I changed my relationship with with rumination when I realized that I am just a natural ruminator. I know I said this right at the beginning, but I'm going to say it again. I used to beat myself up all the time because I ruminated. I didn't realize, it was a safety blanket for me, and it is a way to stabilize, and I don't feel any shame about that. If it is getting in the way, I can actively choose to stop the rumination so I can make different decisions. And sometimes that does take a minute for me. Sometimes it takes people around me pointing it out. Hey, you've asked me the same question 10 times. Hey, you keep talking about this. Hey, this and this and this. Are you ruminating? I still get the choice whether it's annoying somebody or not. It's still my choice. It's still agency on my part to be able to say that I need to ruminate or not. Okay, so sometimes I can choose that. And sometimes I go, I'm going to choose this for about 30 minutes. Or I'm going to choose this all day. Or I don't want to do this right now. Actually, I've got shit to do. I may choose it in about 30 minutes. And then I may decide in 30 minutes, I can wait another 30 minutes. Okay, so I did, this stuff used to bother me because I would think to myself, oh my God, I'm this horrible person. Nobody likes being around me because I'm such a ruminator. You know why? Because I didn't have control over the rumination, and I also didn't have compassion and self-love for the fact that that is just part of who I am. I saw it as an annoyance to me and to my brain, and then that translated over to people think it's an annoyance. Is it an annoyance to people? Okay, it probably is, but I don't care. Like, people either like it like me or they don't. That's just the way it is. Sometimes people can't stop ruminating. And so to have to have compassion for those people and help them, and maybe bring some sort of tools to them to help them get to a place where they're more reassured. Understand, I'm not saying reassurance as in a compulsion, but reassured that it is okay that they're in that state of mind. That can be helpful as well. But the big breakthrough for me was just to recognize and accept Chrissy is a ruminator. And that probably isn't going to change. And thinking that if I ruminate, I am not in recovery and I'm a horrible person and everybody hates being around me, it's not helpful. First of all, it's saying I hate who I am and I hate my brain, which means I hate myself. That's not helpful. It's not cultivating self-love, which then isn't cultivating your ability to receive love and in turn give love. Okay? So I am a ruminator. And here's the thing. That part of me, it has been make it or break it for some people. It has been. And I think for all of us, OCD or not, you just have to look at, some people just aren't our people, right? I can't handle a lot of things about some people. That doesn't mean I think they're assholes because of whatever character they have. We just don't click. And for some people, rumination is hard. Being around someone who needs reassurance sometimes can be hard. And we can change and learn not to take that kind of stuff personally. And so I learned that over the last couple years, and it really has helped me to see and to be able to communicate to other people. I am this, and this is what might happen. And here are some solutions that you can do if this bothers you, or if I need help, I'll tell you what I need. I love that when I have a support system and I can be like, hey, this is what I need and this is what I don't need, and they listen and they do that. I mean, toxic support is the worst ever for OCD and for anything, especially mental health in general. So being able to tell people what you do need and what you don't need and have them respect those boundaries is the best thing ever. So I am a ruminator, and I accept and love myself for who I am. I can always continue to work on it. I can always continue to get better at recognizing, making choices, having agency. But today, I just wanted you to hear. I know most of us have heard, if you're ruminating, you're not in recovery, or oh my God, it's so bad. Y'all, we are natural ruminators. Don't get caught up in the perfectionism of recovery. If I do this, that means I've failed. No, we are continuing to learn, we're continuing to grow and getting better in our recovery. And rumination is no different. You know what? See it for what it is. Work on it. Practice it. See who you are. Is it a safety blanket for you? Or is it a nuisance? Well, when it's a nuisance, work on how to choose not to do it. Work on seeing it. Work on, delaying it. Work on anything. But don't see it as something that's bad about you and something that because you do it, you are not worthy of love. Because you are. And that is it. We're at 13 minutes, and I swore I said 10 minutes, but too bad. Okay, I will see you next time.